Hi, today I thought we'd take a look at harmonics. Now, harmonics is something I've heard described as a guitar trick. Personally, I don't really like that term because I think it sells it a bit short. It's no more of a trick than, say, two-handed tapping or using the whammy bar. It's just another way of getting sounds out of the guitar. So, harmonics, what are they? Well, if you think about how you play guitar like normally, you have a string and you can fret it in various places along the neck, and that changes the length of the string effectively between either the nut or your finger and the bridge, and the shorter that distance is, the higher in pitch the tone. What you can think of it as is the string vibrating between 2 points, with the fixed point of the bridge and the point where you're fretting it. And that looks kind of like an oscillating curve like that, because the string goes up and down. Now what we can do though is there's a particular way we could play an open string to make it vibrate in a different way. So normally if I play an open string like this, the string's vibrating between the nut and the bridge, so it's like a kind of like a curve, and that vibrates up and down, so you've got the curve that way, and it vibrates between the two positions. But what I can do is I can touch the string in a particular way that makes the pattern of that vibration different. Show you what I mean. As you might know, the 12th fret is halfway between the nut and the bridge. Halfway. So if I play a fretted note here, it's 1 octave higher than the open string because I've half the string length. So if you think when I'm playing that fretted note there at the 12th fret, the string is vibrating between fixed point here and the fixed point at the bridge, like that curve that I described before. Well, what I can do is if I touch the string, I'm not actually going to press it down at the fret, I'm just going to touch it very, very lightly right above the fret wire and strike the string. And as I'm striking the string, I'm going to take my fretting finger away, and you'll hear something that sounds like this. What's happening there is the string, instead of vibrating in a curve between the nut and the bridge, what I've done is I've kind of induced what we call a node. So it's at the 12th fret, it's making a curve like that, and between the 12th fret and the nut, it's making a curve the same length, because we're halfway along the string, so we can split the string into two and have curve there, curve there. So it's kind of like a sine wave. Yeah. And it's the same pitch as the fretted note. Because we've got the same wavelength here. But it's a slightly different sound because we're getting it rather than from a fretted note, we're getting it from a string that's actually vibrating open, but it's vibrating open with a node point in between. So it gives us a note that's 1 octave higher than the open string would be. Now when we're playing a harmonic, as I say, we're just touching the string ever so slightly, and then we can take the finger away. But notice where I'm placing my finger. Normally when we're fretting a note, would be right up behind the fret wire, with the finger in that gap, but the finger up behind the fret wire. Playing the harmonic, the finger is pretty much on top of the fret wire itself. So if you get your guitar and try that, it might take a little bit of trial and error, but if you're playing around a 12th fret harmonic, it's easier on the lower string, so try it on your bottom E string first until you kind of find the position and get the technique down. It's one of those things you do a little bit of trial and error, then once you hit it, you think, yeah, that's it, and you'll find it really easy after that. It's something you just kind of find by feel, really, first. The important thing is not to touch the string against the fret wire, it's just to touch the string itself, kind of in space, at the fret, where the fret wire is, and take your finger away. And you can do that on any string at the 12th fret. and you get a note that's 1 octave higher than the open string. Because what we're doing is we're inducing a node along the string. Equal distance between the note and the node and the node and the bridge. So that's a natural harmonic. String vibrating with some sort of node induced. And we don't just play them at the 12th fret, they're available at other points along the neck. They're available at points that's an equal division of the neck along. So we've got them at the halfway point at the 12th fret. We also have them at the quarter point. Now the 5th fret, you probably knew that the 12th fret's halfway between the nut and the bridge. The distance along from the nut to the 5th fret is actually a quarter of the complete length of the string. So I've got a quarter of the length of the string there, and another quarter to the 12th fret, another quarter there, and another quarter there. So if I just touch the string and induce a harmonic, natural harmonic at the 5th fret, what you hear in there is a note that's actually 2 octaves above the open string. Because if you think about when we're talking that curve before, we had a curve like that for the open string, or a curve like that for the 12th, when we're playing 12th fret harmonic halfway along the string. If we're playing a quarter of the way along the string, we get a curve that goes like that. And because that's a quarter of the wavelength, it's half and half again. We go from 1 octave higher to 2 octaves higher. Yeah, so there's various points along the string, so equal geometric divisions of the string, so halfway, quarter way, a third of the way, and so on. Along the string, you can play harmonics. You can't just pick any arbitrary point and say, well, there's a fret there, I'll be able to play a harmonic, because that might be an equal division. Like quarter and 3/4, or an 1/8 and 7/8. There's only certain points along. So you've got the 12th fret, you get the 1 octave harmonics, and the 2 octave harmonics at the 5th. Another interesting one that's reasonably easy to play is a kind of a third of the way along the string. So you've got 1/3 of the way, gets you to the 7th fret, and 2/3 of the way here. So you get a wave that goes like that. It goes like that, so you're splitting the string into 3 at the 7th fret, and that gives you the same note that you would get at the 7th fret, but 1 octave higher. So if you listen to the 7th fret here, with the fretted notes and with the harmonics, that's 1 octave higher than you would get with the fretted note. There are various other points along the string. There's one at about the 4th fret, there's one at about 3.5, and so on. So the geometric divisions of the string. Okay, so those are natural harmonics. Playing an open string in such a way that you get a note that's higher than you would normally get with the open string. Playing here with a clean tone, they also sound quite good. If you just switch on the dirty channel here. They work particularly well with a dirty sound. There's something about the distortion, because it's a bit more sensitive in the way that it picks the note up. It does enhance the harmonics quite well. You can pick up those harmonics quite well. One thing you'll probably hear reasonably commonly in rock music is a natural harmonic at about the 4th fret or the 5th fret, and then just dive bomb down. So say like a 5th fret on the G gives us effectively that note there, but it rings out better as a harmonic. There's something about harmonics that have a clearer sort of sound. But playing that harmonic and then hitting the trem, so you can have fun with those. Something else which is quite nice is if you're playing say an open string and then trill second fret. I'm using the fourth string here. Been talking before about the harmonic node points being, you know, relative to a fret. Because they're divisions of the string, you know, they occur, you know, that node point that we can induce at the fifth fret occurs here and here and here. You know, they occur at different points along the string, so you can refer to them at the same distance along from the bridge. So there's harmonics along here as well. If you can see what I'm doing there. And something that's quite nice is just playing a trill and then just sliding your palm very gently above the string. Yeah, and that gives you these crazy harmonic sounds. Those are natural harmonics. Harmonics played on the open string. There's another thing we can do, which is called an artificial harmonic. Once you get into artificial harmonics, it opens up a lot of possibilities for how to use harmonic sounds. And an artificial harmonic is basically the same principle, but we're playing using a fretted note rather than an open string. So if you think before, we're playing a natural harmonic on the A string. Just touching it at the 12th fret there. That's halfway between the nut and the bridge. If we played a fretted note at the first fret, then halfway along from there, from that B flat to the bridge, is the 13th fret. Now I can play a harmonic there. It's a bit more awkward because I need to play it using my right hand, my picking hand. There's a few different ways you can do this, but just for ease of demonstration, what I'll do is I'll hold my pick between my middle finger and my thumb, leave my index finger free, and pick the string and just gently touch the string above the 13th fret and induce the harmonic that way. Now I've seen a few different ways of playing artificial harmonics. One common way is using just the fleshy part of your thumb, holding the pick, and as the pick goes through the string, just striking the string with the fleshy part of your thumb, and that will induce the harmonic. Some people prefer to change from the normal picking position like that to using the middle finger and leaving the index finger free. That's quite nice because you can clearly see where you're picking on the string as you're picking the harmonics out. Personally, and it's a technique that I evolved just by experimentation, and it works really well for me, is to use the ring finger of my right hand. Means I can keep my normal picking style where I'm using my index finger and my thumb, and I've got my ring finger which I use for inducing harmonics. That's a little bit more awkward because you can't see where the finger is, but it's something I just kind of grew up with, and it works for me. But it's a useful technique to have. Playing natural harmonics, it's one of those techniques, once you hit it, really easy. Artificial harmonics, you need a bit of experimentation, just till you get the feel of it. But it's something once you've got the technique down, you'll probably experiment and just get dumph dumph dumph, dead note after dead note. Then suddenly you'll hit a harmonic, it'll ring clear, and then you'll find it actually quite easy and quite intuitive, and you'll wonder, well, why was it ever so difficult? But it's a technique you just kind of find by feel almost. So that's a really quick introduction to harmonics. As with all guitar techniques, urge you to spend a bit of time getting comfortable with the basic technique, practicing it, and you know, just look for ways you can kind of incorporate it into your playing. It is a really useful thing to be able to do, to play harmonics. Okay, so there you go. We'll leave that with you to practice, and I'll see you in another video sometime soon. Bye for now.